Active recall, the most efficient technique out there which you can use to remember even a huge chunk of information, even in medical schools. Now, I have done a video on that technique. Go watch that to learn the basics of active recall. So in this video, let's talk about the technique in detail and go deep into it. So let's begin.
Science orzo.
Science orzo.
Science orzo.
Science orzo.
Science orzo.
Normally what most students do is to summarize and highlight your notes. I don't know, like after a few weeks, what you just do is to read that summary. Students like the easy path. They think that they are being very productive just because they have used beautiful colors to highlight and underline and summarize the note. Underline there, underline here, color there, color here. Paste sticky notes. It won't make you remember anything, believe me. I mean, reading just puts stuff into your brain, it won't help much. Most people ask how to study efficiently without wasting time, so that you could make a 200% more valuable and fruitful study session. So what you really have to do is the other way around. You must take information out of your brain. Here comes the fancy name, active recall. All we do is to make questions and questions for our own self. Make a ton of questions without writing any answer. The answer is in your textbook. So if you don't remember the answer to the question, go back to the textbook and come back. So the best time to use this technique is right after your teacher teaches the lesson. Yeah, instead of just reading what your teacher taught you, the most efficient thing you can do is to ask yourself questions from that part. Take your active recall book, write the topic and start making questions immediately. Actually, this is the best thing out there. I am really thankful to this guy who introduced me this technique so that I could use it. It really baffles me on how great is this. I mean, I have been saving a lot of time by using this technique. Active recall just cuts your study time in half and doubles your efficiency. That's what we all want, right? Spend less time on studying and do other stuff which actually matters to you, matters to your life. So, okay, let's see more about this technique. So these are some questions which I wrote for biology lesson photosynthesis. Actually, I wrote it in a book. I just typed it in a Word document so that you could use this technique. So this lesson was done 2 weeks before the video was done. So what I did right after the class is to make these questions for myself. Actually, there are about 101 questions for photosynthesis part. Actually, I included only this much. Well, call me lazy. It's okay. So let's try this. What is photosynthesis? So, as I can remember, photosynthesis is the process in which light energy is stored and converted to chemical energy. So there we go. First question done. So you must go through each of these questions one by one. I won't go through all of them. I will go from here and there. So let's see this. Name 2 types of phycobilins. So that will be phycocyanin and phycoerythrin. And let's see this question. What are 3 types of carotenoids? Actually, it's xanthophyll and I can't remember. So I put a dot in front of it. So if you use the computer, you can just highlight it and go to the next question. So after going through all the questions, you will be remained out with something like this. Now you must refer to the textbook for the answer. Now in the second time you go through these questions, only go through the highlighted or dotted questions which you couldn't answer. Now I think you got it. So this is how you revise a certain lesson done in your class right after it was taught. Doing this once won't help. You must repeat it every day. So another way to use active recall is to use flashcards. Well, I have been also using this, but actually I think it will not be more efficient than question writing method because it wastes more time to make cards. But the good thing about flashcards is that you can write the answer on one side and the question on the other side. So when you read the question, if you don't know the answer, just flip it around so you know the answer. Actually, I prefer writing questions in a computer or a separate book. So think twice before you just take up your book and just read it, because it just do nothing. It might work for some, but even if it worked, it will be less efficient. So active recall. This actually applies to practice testing. Just take a past paper and do it. It's the same thing as the questions. So doing past papers, model papers, test papers, and also using this technique will help you. Actually, highlighting is an efficient thing to do if you do it in the right way. Actually, you can use the highlighter to highlight the answer to the question which you wrote in your active recall book. So start from today, not tomorrow. Make questions. Believe me, it's more efficient than what you are doing now. Now another thing. Sadly, if math students are watching this, then sorry guys, this cannot be applied to subjects like physics, mathematics and chemistry. Actually, this is a technique for subjects like biology and history where theory is more than equations and logic. So for math students, my advice is to do more questions as much as you can. Practice, practice, practice. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new today. Subscribe for more videos because we bring a video weekly. See you guys soon in another interesting video. Until then, bye bye.